What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly, the other half of Tennessee Titans Weekly. Hawk right now is trying to get some stuff going, so he might be on later. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick us off today. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday, and one more day until we get to February. So Super Bowl is next week, but we here to talk Titans, man. Let's get it. Do what we got to do. So again, hope everybody's having a good day. So a topic today, man. We're gonna talk more of the coaching, the new coach, Callahan, and also his philosophy and his thoughts on receiver versus left tackle. And then we're going to get into Carthon and him not attending the Senior Bowl. Is that a big deal? So let's go ahead and kick this thing off, man. So Coach Callahan had he did a radio interview, and there was a question that was asked where how does he value or how does he look at receiver versus left tackle or tackle period, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize the stock that he's come from. That man's resume is amazing, okay? And when you look at his most recent stint where he's in Cincinnati, he's didn't call plays, but he's in charge of large part of game planning for the offense, putting the pieces together, getting people where they need to be. When I look at Cincy and I look how they've been drafted for the past couple of years, they have some of the three best receivers in the game right now. It's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Now, people look at Tyler Boyd as a third option, but he's a real good second receiver when Joe Burrow's healthy, right? And they got Joe Burrow, of course, and Joe Mixon. Offensive line is right? It's But when you have Joe Burrow and those three skill position when it comes to receiver, it's a pretty solid mix. So his philosophy, he stated that he sort of values wide receiver over tackle. Now, I know a lot of the Titans fandom we've been seared and it's been put in our brain that we need a left tackle. We need a left tackle. We need a left tackle. And that was the Mike Vrabel regime, right? We're in the Brian Callahan regime now. And so you hear Callahan, he is wanting to score touchdowns. He wants to do it the 2024 way, not the 2002 way, right? Now, we know some of the best offenses built from within in out, right? In and out, and we've seen that in the playoffs, right? These past playoffs that we've seen with Detroit. So there's a meme going around with uh, if you have a good offensive line, but you don't really have star receivers, what happens? If you have a okay offensive line or a low grade offensive line, but you have star receivers, this is what can happen, right? And so when I'm looking at this debate and this is a debate going on online. It's like preference. It's like, do you prefer this versus this? When I see that, there's cases to be made for both, right? I look at the Detroit Lions game in the NFC Championship when they were playing the 49ers. Josh Reynolds, if he would have caught that 4th and 2, they still probably would have had a chance to march down the field and score a touchdown. It didn't happen. Offensive line is amazing, but the receivers are, right? Then I look at a team like the Bengals when they went on their run to the Super Bowl. Offensive line was atrocious. How we know? The Titans played them. We had 8 or 9 sacks against them. They still were able to beat us because of one player, Jamar Chase. Only time he needs 1 or 2 plays to take it the distance. So when I hear this debate, I'm like, okay, Callahan, I see where you're going. I understand the vision. Now we look at the draft and how the draft is positioning. We know Caleb Williams is going to dictate this whole draft. That's what's going to happen. He's going to dictate this whole draft. Will we have a Marvin Harrison Jr. falling out there? We have a Malik Neighbors falling out there, lap, right? So at that point, I'm like, okay, can't pass up on talent like that, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. This draft is heavy with receivers and tackles. It is. Offensive line and receivers is a heavy, heavy draft for them. So just seeing the value and just hearing that is very, very interesting on perception of how he thinks and how his philosophy is coming, how he's coming into this season and what he's doing. So we do have a poll out there on what position should Callahan prioritize? Is it the wide receiver position, cornerback position, or offensive tackle, or other? Right? Um, put your polls out there. Let's see what you guys and ladies think of how he should prioritize and what he should prioritize. Again, this is just speculation. He's just talking right now. It could be just smoke. We don't know. It could be a left tackle, but it's a real good topic. So I'm gonna move to the next topic, and I don't know if everybody knows. I know we're local, so we kind of got the inside scoop on some things. But Rand Carthon, our GM, who just got promoted to VP as well, he is not attending the Senior Bowl, and this has been made of a big deal of him not going to the Senior Bowl. And we want to get you guys' thoughts as well, ladies' thoughts as well of what do you think? What do you think? Should he attend the Senior Bowl? Should he be there in the trenches, looking at the talent, evaluating the talent? I don't know. We have a poll out there for that too. So I'm gonna give my quick thoughts. I look at it in this way. Rand is a different dude when it comes to managing. And I can tell, big leadership energy. Shout out to my guy Aaron. But when he sits there and he evaluates talent in a different way than traditionally how John Robinson did it or how any other GM is down there. They're down there looking at talent. It almost makes it seem like he's just in his office just looking at TV. No, I guarantee you he's doing the same thing just on a different scale. He's an analytical guy. He looks at analytics. He values analytics very, very highly. And I can guarantee you he's in there analytically evaluating his draft board, looking at Senior Bowl prospects. Even if he sees anybody in the Senior Bowl that's worth looking at. I guarantee he does, but just in case, he's like, okay, hey, I can do it from the comfort of my office, and I can have my staff work, right? That was the problem with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel liked control. Rand Carthon is a type of manager that he's like, hey, I'm going to let my staff do their job, which your job is to go down there, scout the talent, report back to me what you think about the talent, and then we go from there. So there are some people that are upset that he's not down there. And in my eyes, I don't look at it as a big deal. I trust Rand. Let me say that. I trust Rand enough to say, okay, Rand, you know what you're doing. Just work your magic, right? As we say, Rand, cook. Go ahead and cook, Rand. That's all you got to cook. Is just cook it up, dog. That's all you got to do. And so with that, I just think that he's doing it in a different way versus how everybody traditionally likes it to be done, right? It's preference. Again, this goes back to what I said earlier. It's preference. If you don't want to be there, okay, cool. Hey, man, as long as you're doing your job, wherever you're doing it, and you evaluate talent, you're okay. And we don't even know. He might end up going to the Senior Bowl tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. We don't know. We don't know that. So, again, when I look at this and I hear this, I'm like, it's very interesting, to say the least, that we hear and see things that he's getting scrutinized for because he's not there. So that's my thoughts. And I believe we have a poll out there for that as well. Is it a big deal that Rand Carthon is not at the Senior Bowl? Yes or no? Or should he attend it? Right? Should he be there? Should he be there evaluating the talent? From what you've seen from this last year's draft and everything like that, should he be there? So I'm gonna move to the next topic, and we're gonna go to free agency. All right, and you guys can participate in this too. If it's what position should we prioritize in free agency? Now, I'm gonna give my thoughts, and I don't think we have anybody in the chat, which is okay. But again, once you rewatch the video, we have the polls out there that you can vote on this. When I look at free agency, I see free agency as there's some talent out there, but some of it might get retained. So, for example, my wish list would be T. Higgins. I don't think Cincinnati's going to let T. Higgins go. I actually do think we will have to trade for T. Higgins. I think they'll franchise tag him. T. Higgins already said he's not planning on franchise tag. So they're going to try to work out a deal. I wouldn't let T. Higgins walk, right? I know you got Jamar Chase and all them starters, both of them. But if I'm looking at free agency, offensive line is got a lot of guys that are old in the tooth. So that's probably 1 year guys that you can bring in for depth and like plug and play literally. And then you have to come and find the replacement the next year. Cornerbacks is very intriguing because you got Jalen Johnson, Sneed, and I'll throw DB in there as well. You got Whitfield Jr. from the Buccaneers, who I would actually like to bring in as a just to have a conversation. I like his style of play when it comes to safety. We've lost Fire. To pair him back there with the safeties that we already got, I feel like that'll be a complete secondary. My wish list, though, again, is T. Higgins. For me, you bring in T. Higgins, you pair him with Levis, T. Higgins, D-Hop, and then Traylon Burks. That's not a bad receiving core. Now, again, it just depends on which position or which way Brian Callahan wants to go. But if it was me, I'm trying to prioritize that wide receiver position because we still need to upgrade that position outside of D Hop, especially if we want to rock with Will Levis. We need to surround him with as much talent as we possibly can while he's still able to do his thing, right? And so that's me. Now, if I had to give a second answer, which I am, cornerback would be my second option. I would actually like to see us pick up Jalen Johnson, at least try to have a conversation of bringing him in because he elevates any secondary, right? He elevates, okay. And so I would definitely, most definitely like to see that. So that's me. Again, we have the poll out there. Go ahead, hey, put your votes in. We definitely like to hear you ladies and gentlemen's perspective on that. So we know the Titans we've hired Brian Callahan. We've heard him talk in his press conference. We've heard some of his philosophies. He's still building out his coaching staff. How do you guys feel about Brian Callahan so far? And I'll give my perspective as well. Um, I've been impressed. First of all, I'm impressed with his resume. His resume it dates. It dates. He's been coaching. He's been in the industry, as they say, for a while. And his dad is a coach. He comes from pedigree, comes from good stock. He's coached Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, Derek Carr. He's coached him as well. And there's one more that he's coached. But from what his press conference, he seems like a level-headed guy that's willing to come in and teach. That's what I respect about him. He doesn't have that attitude of it's my way or the highway, and his leadership style tends to be very, very accommodating and collaborating. And I know collaboration is getting thrown around like just a sandwich on the wall, right? But collaboration is very important when it comes to leadership and trying to build a winning product. And when I look at Brian, you can tell that he's not that leader that's going, He's that leader that's going, hey, yeah, you messed up, but let's show you how to get to the next level. Let's maximize your talent. And one thing that he said too is he says, hey, if you're a receiver, we want you to catch. We want you to catch touchdowns. We're not here to have you block, right? We're not here to have you play special teams. Your job is to catch, run routes, and catch. Same thing with the offensive line. You're here to block. We're not going to sit here and have you playing multiple positions on the offensive line. We need you to master your position, and then maybe we can get into the second option of you playing multiple positions. But you got to master your position first. I'm very interested to see how he builds his staff. That's what I'm curious about because I think that was my biggest knock on Vrabel was his staff. He can build his staff up to where it's a winning product. It's awesome. Also, I've heard that when his philosophy when it comes to drafting is almost probably on Rand Carthon's philosophy. They want guys that are proven in college. They want to get them from big schools. They want guys that put up stats. That's what I like to hear. I'm like, okay, yes, you guys don't want a D3 school guy, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We've lived through it as Titans fans. We've lived through the 6 round picks turning into starters, right? They've prolonged their careers, but it's time to bring in actual talent that can continue to elevate this team to the point where we can get on a Kansas City level or San Francisco level. And the stock that these gentlemen, Grant Carthon and Brian, come from, I have faith that they can do that. So I've been very impressed with Brian so far, even though he still has a lot of leg work to do. He has a lot of leg work to kick up. But I think this is going to be a good match when it comes to him and Rand Carthon collaboratively. And I think that they are going to build us a winning product. It's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen quickly if they do it right. So that's my thoughts on Brian Callahan. We do have that poll out there too. So far, how impressed are you with the head coach Brian Callahan talking about the Titans? Are you very impressed? Did well, warm, not impressed? Throw your chat, your poll questions out there. We got the poll questions out there. Just throw it in there, and we can go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't see anybody in the chat for our live chop up, so go ahead and wrap up the show, man. If you don't know who we are Tennessee Titans Weekly. We on Instagram. We're on Twitter, Titans Weekly 24/7. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us anywhere where there's a phone or a computer where you can listen to, you can plug in and or watch. We're on YouTube as well. And again, I want to thank my cohort, a Hulk, who wasn't able to make it, but hey, we're gonna keep rocking. And then I want to thank Bleacher Report as well for giving us this opportunity to talk Titans and just, yeah, I mean, get that news and stuff out there. So we really appreciate that. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jacques from Tennessee Titans Weekly, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm out. Peace.